Is the white circle, your colored pencils, and a protractor for a little bit. Okay? Uh-oh, I'm looking for my protractor. Where did my big protractor? Oh. I did not hunt for my giant protractor. Usually I hide it back here somewhere, but I don't see it. Nope. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this with the little protractor. So, I'm going to grab a little protractor. Normally I have a giant one. Alright, so we're going to do some measuring of angles with our protractor. Okay? We're going to start with your blue colored pencil. Okay. So your blue colored pencil. Okay? We are color coding the unit circle. Okay, so I'm doing it on purpose with certain colors. So today is really an exercise in making sure you're following instructions carefully. Okay, so you're going to get to use this on your quizzes for a little while. Okay, all right. So you're going to grab your protractor. Okay, you'll notice on your protractor there's a little hole. Okay, you can see the little hole. Okay, that is where you start. You put that on the origin to measure your angles. Okay. You'll also notice that the smaller angles coming from the right side here are on the left, okay? And then the bigger angles are on the top. And we talked about coterminal angles, right? So there are some, their bigger counterparts are on the top. So you just have to determine if you're doing an acute and obtuse. We're mostly going to do acute angles, okay? All right, so I'm taking the whole of my protractor and I'm sticking it right on that origin piece, okay? And then I'm going to put a blue mark every 30 degrees. Okay, so at 30 degrees, I'm going to put a mark. Okay, that's blue. All right, and then at 60 degrees, I'm going to put a mark that's blue. All right, what's my next one that's a multiple of 30? 90 degrees, which is already there, isn't it? Okay, all right, and then what would my next one that's a multiple of 30 be? 120, and then my last one would be 150. And really make sure that this is on the origin when you're making those marks. Okay, I'm going to put it up there what it should look like. Okay, so you're making a mark every 30 degrees. Okay, so we made one at 30, 60, 120, and 150. Okay, then what you are going to do, okay, is you're going to take your, hold on before I do that. Let me see if I can mark on there. What's wrong?
There's no protractors at our table.
There's no protractors at your table. Boy, oh boy, that was rough. I did not count right, did I? Let's set up here. Let's do that. Bigger leaves. Okay. So let me do the marks real quick again. Okay. So these ladies can catch up. Okay. So ooh, that's not what I wanted. What just happened? Oh my goodness. It zoomed. Okay. All right. So you have a blue mark at 30, 60, 120, and 150. And you may not have made them on the circle. They may be inside here, and that's fine. Okay? So when you are connecting your lines, we're going to draw lines through the entire circle. Okay? When you are making that connection, make sure you are not like right on top of it, right? You should be just a little bit, so there's enough for your pencil to get in there, and make that line and make it go all the way through the circle. So just like we're in kindergarten connecting dots, okay? We're going to make it from the mark and line it up with the origin and go all the way through, okay? I'll put up there what it should look like when you've done that. You don't have to make the lines super dark. It's okay if they're light, okay? All right, there are what the lines should look like. Approximately, mine's not great, but approximately that's what they should look like. My ones close to the x-axis are probably a little bit too close to the x-axis. I can only do so good digitally. Give you another good minute to get all 4 lines drawn, okay? see people drawing, so I'm gonna wait. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to measure out, so that was multiples of 30, right? The next thing we're going to measure is multiples of 60. Don't we already have that? It would be 60, what would be after 60 would be the next multiple? 120, didn't we already do those two? So all we're really going to do is you're going to take your green colored pencil and go over the top two that are in the center. Okay, that are like on the vertical. They look more vertical than the others. So trace over those two in green. Okay? It's hard for me to say go every 30 and then not do those. So it's okay. They're related to one another. It's okay. And green and blue are related to one another, right? Don't you have to use blue to make green?
You do?
You do, yes. It's green or it's blue and yellow make green. Did we not learn color theory in elementary school?
Nope.
You didn't play with paints and like mix them together and see what colors they made, or did you just mix all yours together to make brown? Or Play-Doh? Did you not play with Play-Doh and mix your colors together? All right, give you about 20, 30 more seconds to trace those, and then we've got one more. You're going to need your red colored pencil for the next one, okay? Okay, the next one we're going to do is we're going to measure every 45 degrees with the red one, okay? And for our purposes, red and pink are the same color, okay? Because it's very hard to find pink colored pencils, but red ones are all over the place, okay? And my paper that I go with this is pink. So we're going to measure 45 degrees, okay, with your protractor. Okay, what would be my next 45? 90 degrees, and what would be my next 45? Anybody know?
135.
Yep, 135. So I want you to measure those three and then go ahead and connect them. I'm going to put up here what it looks like. You don't really need the one on the axis, so don't trace over the one on the axis. Let me see if I think I might have traced over mine. Oh, no, I did not. So this one was at 45. 90 we don't really need because it's already there, and 135. Okay? Once you've got them measured, go ahead and trace over the top. Or go ahead and connect the dots, sorry. Connect the dots. Again, these do not have to be super dark, just enough so that you can see them. So you should have 2 blue lines, 2 green lines, and 2 red lines on your unit circle. Okay? Once you have that, you can take your scissors out of your little pouch and you can cut out all 3 circles around the edge. Okay? So go ahead. Huh? Yeah, just do another one. There. You can now cut all 3 circles out. That's the next step. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. That's good. You're fine. All right, so cut out all 3 circles with your scissors. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So everybody's cutting out all 3 circles. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do that. Okay? Because I know that we're not fast cutters. Jaden, what's ready? Mm-hmm.
21, 80.
All right, go ahead. You may throw your scraps away, although there's going to be one other thing we cut here in a few minutes, but I'm not handing it out yet because I want you to listen and do it right. Okay, the next thing you're going to need is a glue stick. So the next step is going to require a glue stick. So when you're finished cutting, find your glue stick. I'm going to give you about 20 more seconds to cut, and then we're going to do the next step. Okay? So So you need a glue stick for the next step. You need all 3 circles must be cut out for the next step. Okay, here comes the next step. So, you need to start with your white and your yellow part of your white and your yellow circles. Okay? So I need you to take and I need you to line up the axes, okay? And center your white circle on top of your yellow circle. Glue it down, but make sure the lines we drew are facing up. You're not putting the glue on the lines, you're putting the glue behind the lines. Okay? So glue your white to your yellow, make sure everything lines up. Okay? White to yellow, everything lines up. Okay. The next thing, we got one more circle, right? So we're gonna put the white yellow circle and we're gonna line it up and glue the orange circle, glue down to the orange circle. Make sure you can see all of your axes and they're all lined up. Okay? So line up all of your axes. Glue it all down. Okay. I'm gonna guess. Well, let me see. Hold on a second. Yep. Okay. So, well before break, we had this assignment. Okay. I told you, we're gonna use that assignment, right? So you have actually already done work on the unit circle. Remember this assignment where I made you do all this degree? It was a worksheet, I handed it out, and I made you convert all of your radians to, or all your degrees to radians? Well, what we were doing is all of these weird degree measures were all the degrees that are on the unit circle, okay? If I look, 30, 60, 90, 120, right? Multiples of 30, 150, 210, 240. Those are all my multiples of 30. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that, okay, in case you lost that worksheet, okay, in case you lost it, I have all the degrees and radians here. Okay, now, I realize that your unit circle's yellow was much narrower than mine. So here is my suggestion, okay? I would probably write the degrees in the yellow and write the radians inside on the white. So just make sure that it says 30 degrees and pi over 6, 45 degrees and pi over 4. Does that make sense? If you don't have enough to get it all in the yellow, put it in the white and the yellow, okay? We are going to write something else in the orange, so don't write anything in the orange, all right? So I'm going to give you like 3, 4, 5 minutes. Get all of those written. Once you've written it, double check to make sure you've done it correctly, okay? Double check your work, okay? And you can use whatever you want, pencil, pen, okay? Does not have to be a colored pencil. We are done with the colored pencils and the glue sticks at this point, okay? Again, as you're doing this, make sure you are accurate, because if you are not accurate, your unit circle will be off. Oh boy, I totally forgot. Make sure your green X is going up and down, right? So if your green X is not going up and down, you got to fix it. Okay, you're not writing them on there right. Make sure your green X is vertical. Normally I say that sooner, I totally forgot. Okay. So make sure, again, that you are accurate, that the right colors are, and I know I have pink down the middles. Don't worry about my pink down the middles. Okay. And once you are finished, double check your values and make sure they are all match what's up there, okay? I'm gonna give you about 30 more seconds, okay? Okay, we are going to label the orange circles next, okay? So, our orange circles, okay? And it's going to seem weird. We're going to put a mnemonic device out there, okay? But it'll make sense when we learn how to do it. So, notice I did not put those in the middle, okay? So, I numbered my quadrants. So, number your quadrants. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? But don't put it in the center of it. Kind of put it to one of the sides, okay? Okay, we're going to add some words in there now, okay? So it's the first one is all with a plus sign. Quadrant 2 is sign and cosecant. The sign does not have to be capitalized with a plus sign and in parentheses students. It'll make more sense when we go through them, okay? The third quadrant is tangent and cotangent with a plus sign and the word take in parentheses, okay? And then the fourth quadrant is cosine and secant with a plus in the after it, and then in parentheses calculus. It's a mnemonic device and a subliminal message, all in the same. Okay, most important step. Are you ready for this? Okay, turn it over. Okay, write your first name and your last name and return to room 727. Maybe you'll get lucky. If you drop it, somebody will give it back. I do not recommend dropping it in AP Lang. We've had a few disappear in there. You think if it looks important, you wouldn't throw it away. But your first and your last name and write return to room 727. That is the only thing you are allowed to write on the back. I check these before you take a quiz, so do not write anything else. You don't need to write Sokotoa loves Chosha Cow because it's posted on both sides of the room, right? So do not write anything else except for your name and return to room 727. And I literally go around every quiz we have and I check the backs. Okay? All right. All right. There is one more thing we've got to do. Everybody got their name on it? I'll give you like 20 more seconds to do that. And then we're going to do one more piece here before we get before the announcements come on. Okay, you need your scissors again, and you need the 3 triangles. So there was a pink, a green, and a blue triangle. Okay? And you are going to cut out the triangles, but don't just willy-nilly cut. Watch what you have to cut. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, watch what I want you to cut. All right? So you need to go around. You need to cut with your scissors and not chop that off, because we're going to attach these things to our unit circle. And then you cut around the circle and then back down the line. Does that make sense? So cut around the big circle. You have a big hole in the middle. Do not chop that off. We're creating a ring so it can attach to your unit circle. All right? So I'm going to give you a minute. Cut all of those out. Okay? It's been a very relaxing day, right? You got to cut. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our pen or a pencil and we're going to label the sides of the 3 right triangles. Okay, and these should look familiar. We worked with a 30, 60, 90 and a 45, 45, 90 triangle before the break. We reviewed them. So those are the measurements you need to put on them. So on the blue one, and make sure you're doing the correct numbers with the correct triangle. Okay, on the blue one, your opposite should be 1. your hypotenuse should be 2, and your adjacent square root of 3. Okay, your green one, your opposite is square root of 3, your hypotenuse is 2, and your adjacent is 1. These two are the same triangle, just different orientations, right? We had used a different reference angle. Okay. And then the 45s, both of the legs are 1, and the hypotenuse is square root of 2. Those things are all in our notes. Okay, we took notes on those before the break. Okay, so make sure you're labeling those, and then I'm going to come around with the last little part. Okay. Fire. What, sir? I got the budget to buy metal fasteners out of my own pocket. Yeah. That's usually how I get them. Although I have quite a supply back here. I could probably do the next like 4 or 5 years without having to go buy them. So, maybe not that, maybe 3.
Go.
Okay. You could probably guess what's going to come next, right? You're going to take, and this usually takes like using the tip of your pencil to make a hole in the unit circle, because you've got to make a hole through the paper and the 2 layers of cardstock, okay? So you're going to go and you're going to make a hole in the center of this thing, and then you're going to push the metal fastener and the 3 triangles and lay them one on top of each other. Just make sure the numbers are up. It does not matter the order of the colors. And then attach those 3 triangles to your unit circle, okay? I don't have a picture of all of it together. So you're gonna take 1, 2, 3, put them on top, put a hole in the center, and then make sure you use the little fastener to, make sure that they are all on top of the circle. Really make sure the edges are glued down well, okay? So you've got a few minutes here to make sure that that happens. But before you leave, make sure your triangles are attached. Okay?
In what order?
And that it does not matter the order. Just make sure that all the numbers are up. Okay? Make sure all the numbers are up. Does not matter what order you put them on. Okay? What's wrong? It won't work. It's not that far. So just push it with your pencil or your pen. Use a pen maybe. Okay? Or your scissors. You can do it. I know they've done it for years. I know you can do it. You just need a little hole to get it started. It'll go. Okay? All right. Please, please, please bring that with you tomorrow. Okay, so that's it for today. Once you've got your triangles attached, the last part's the most challenging, right? Trying to get that stupid hole in there. Okay. Once your triangles are attached, that's all we got for today. Okay? I double check that your name is on the back and that it says my classroom number on it, so that way it does not matter which one's on top. You get choice in that matter. Everything else had to be exactly the same. That's choice. And then if you put all the trash in the trash can, you put everything back in the pouch, the protractors can just get a pile on the table. Do you have a question? Do I have white out? I might.
Let's go.
What? Yep. You guys keep your unit circles in your folders or whatever. Make sure you bring them tomorrow. Okay? Good? Rebecca, good? Yeah, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like. Okay? I will teach you how to use them tomorrow, I promise. Okay? But we do not have enough time for that today.